You're listening to Community Voice PHL, an award-winning talk show that informs, engages, and inspires.
Look at that. We get a double intro today. Technical challenges and whatever. But thank you for tuning in to Community Voice PHL Talk Show, a show that informs, engages, and inspires. Community Voice is a talk show that highlights the value-based programs and services that people of color are doing all across the nation and even right here in the tri-state area. We'll inform you about amazing events that are happening. We'll also have engaging interviews with inspiring people who get you involved with building caring and process communities. So once again, thanks for tuning in to Community Voice PHL, a show that informs, engages, and inspires. So WPPM LP Philadelphia, Apple Podcasts, and our YouTube channel. So I hope you subscribe to those two as well, the YouTube and the Apple Podcasts in particular. And thank you for all those who are tuning in on WPPM LP Philadelphia. We're always excited to be on the airways with you, just sharing again all the good stuff that's happening in the city, tri-state area, even across the nation with some of the guests that we've had the good pleasure of having on board the show. Excited to have a guest on today, really doing some amazing work and impacting and bringing joy to the lives of our youngsters there. So we're really excited about having our guest on today. But before we get to our guest, I want to always just get you up to date on things that, we always typically do. And with this being every episode for this year, since this is the 250th celebration of our nation and Philadelphia being the birthplace of liberty, we want to share a few of the 250 fun facts, or at least one of the Philly first that happened in Philly. Now, some of these firsts we already know. I've already mentioned, of course, the first pin relays, the first hospital. A lot of you sent the email saying you already knew those things. I got a lot of pushback when I talked about the first professional basketball league that was in Philadelphia. It wasn't the NBA, but it was the National Basketball League. A lot of folks, kind of fact checked me on that, but they found out that it was true. The first professional basketball league was here in Philadelphia. But this is one that's probably a lot of you all know, sports fans know, maybe Phillies fans probably really don't care because the Phillies are a bit struggling. Before there was the Phillies, the first professional baseball team, the first professional baseball team before the Phillies, the first professional baseball team was the Philadelphia Olympics. They were the first Philadelphia ball club. They were a ball club. They were considered not necessarily a team, but they were professional because they were paid. They were a ball club, and the first one was here in Philadelphia. So the nation's very first organized professional baseball team was here in Philadelphia, the Olympics. So take note of that, you Phillies fans, and so you can have something to be happy about. I know the Phillies are a bit struggling, but you can at least know that all the baseball teams and all the organized professional teams started here in Philadelphia. So still got first in some regards. So you can be happy about that. But as always, the First of All events is always attached to those Philly firsts that I share. So this First of All event will take place at a Phillies game on July the 11th at 11 a.m. There's going to be an event at the Fulton Bank Park, where the Phillies play at. So it's going to be an event there to celebrate the Philly first, or the first professional baseball team that was ever created here in Philadelphia. So at Fulton Bank, Saturday, July the 11th at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., you're going to celebrate that Philly first. So go there and check that out, and just get that information about the first team, the Olympics. I wonder what their jersey look like. I'll have to look that up, and maybe I'll put something out there on social media to show you what their jersey looks like, because kind of a cool name, but wonder what their jersey looks like and how it got to be the Phillies. But anyway, that's a topic and conversation for another day. If you're just tuning in, again, we appreciate it. And for those who are first time, thank you. If you want to follow us, we mostly land on Instagram. That's our social media outlet, which is Community Voice PHL. And if you want to follow us on our YouTube or Apple Podcasts and YouTube channel, they're both the same, Community Voice PHL Talk Show. So we hope that you subscribe and follow us on both of those as well. And if you want any feedback or want to give any feedback from this episode or any previous episodes, send us an email to communityvoicephl@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to reply back to your emails. And we're going to do another segment in May where we just reply back to various emails that were sent out, because you've always been faithful in sending emails to us on some of our topics and questions about our guests and where they work at and so forth and so on. So we're going to dig into some of our emails in May so you can get those updates and know that we've been responding. And many of you who have already sent us emails in the past do know that we do reply. So if you send out an email, good, bad, or indifferent, we always take time to acknowledge that. So again, send us an email to communityvoicephl@gmail.com, and we'll be sure again to get that on the air, hopefully sometime in May, as we do a segment just regarding to email replies and answers and tries and all that good stuff. But now, to the guest segment we have on the show today. I'm really excited again about the guests we have on the show today. I'm going to play a quick video clip before I bring our guest on, and then we're going to get into a great conversation. So let me get this video queued up, and if all goes well with the video queued up, we can get it started. The video will play for you.
Our children told us what was wrong. They told us what it felt like to sit in classrooms thirsty, how hard it was to have silent lunches. They told us where joy was missing.
My 9-year-old has shared that in his 45 minutes for both lunch and recess often
Bit of a technical challenge. Let me see if I get the video queued up.
What it was like to be a child, and ask yourself if these are acceptable experiences for children.
We were here to sound the alarm.
We have testified at full board meetings, at city council meetings.
I want to thank members of Lift Every Voice. I wish we had done this much sooner.
When I joined LAB 2 years ago, we discussed an organizing principle that has stayed with me. In organizing, the first revolution is internal. Looking back on this campaign, I understand that now. Before the policy change, we changed. We stopped doubting ourselves. We stopped assuming that this was just how schools are. We decided that the bar must move for our children.
What I've learned about myself so far is that I'm actually a very good public speaker.
I found my voice, standing up for all kids in the city, not just our own.
I'm setting an example for my grandchild.
Organizing is a cheat code to changing our communities.
All right, so that was a video from
to welcome you here as we declare victory.
And what I would like to do is now bring on our guest, part of Lift Every Voice, Carrera. So bring on our guest for the show. There's always a challenge. There's always a challenge. There we go. Carrera should be coming on the show shortly. And here we go with the guest.
Hi.
All these
afternoon.
Challenges on a day. There we go. There we go. Carrera, thanks for being on Community Voice PHL Talk Show.
Hi. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you on. I mean, my goodness, all these technical challenges. You know what? Show goes a little smoother. This isn't the norm. So
it's all right. Things happen, and we're, like you said, we'll keep it flowing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But listen, I had a chance to play the video. There was a little bit of a glitch in the beginning, but I believe the most of it, well, best part of it played, showing the work that Lift Every Voice was doing with bringing joy back into school. And I say it that way because I want to tease that up for a conversation, because I know a lot of people are saying, what do you mean joy back in schools? You know, don't kids love to go to school? Don't parents, love sending their kids? And don't teachers love it? And all that's true. But talk about the joy that you all were working towards and advocating for and bringing that joy back to schools. What was that really all about?
Okay, well, basically at LEV, we have a steering committee. And when we got together, we try to go through different issues. There's a lot of things that we have to tackle, but one thing at a time. And we realized the common denominator that everybody had was a lot of our kids were complaining about similar things like bathroom restrictions, no recess or like really, really short recesses, collective punishment, one or a few kids do something and everybody has to suffer for it. And we were noticing like how it was affecting our kids. It was sucking the joy out of them. Like they were like feeling down and sad about it. Like, you know what I mean? What kid doesn't want recess or 5 minutes, and or told they can't go to the restroom. It was so bad. Certain kids were actually having accidents, parents sending their kids to school in depends because they didn't want their child to be embarrassed. Like it got that bad. So of course that's not very joyful, right? So when we realized that was an issue, we had to do community work. And after like surveys and petitions, we realized that over 600 parents in this city agreed with us. My kid too, my kids, my children, my nephew, my niece, my neighbor says the same thing. So we said, this is an issue. We gotta fight this. This is the next thing we're gonna tackle. And we just after that started to do the work towards a joy campaign and basically it being filled with things that we need, like a wellness policy for recess or wellness, mental health, all those kind of things, protecting our kids of certain things that they're going to go through at school. Wow. So that was the beginning.
That was the beginning, and I like that. What got you involved? What brought you to this space? Because obviously, you've got the passion for it, and you're out here advocating. What brought you into this space of working with Lift Every Voice, being part of Lift Every Voice?
Okay, I think I was a match. I believe in the universe and things happening, and some of the members, the leaders, were like outside of my school and like reaching out. And the first time I kind of ignored. And the second time I said, let me see what they're talking about. And as soon as they said anything about like community work, activism, the kids, the schools, and we want, try to fix things in the schools. And at that time I had 3 kids that are in the school district and they were complaining about certain things. And I said, sign me up. Let me give it a shot. Let's give it a go. So I was actually one of the founding members of LEV, maybe the 3rd or 4th member, which is really cool. Right.
Yeah.
In the beginning, and like see the journey that and like how far we've come. So yeah, I just always had that kind of thing in me with like wanting to help people. I'm very loving, like a hippie peace love, and I love kids. That's also my thing too. Like I teach dance and stuff like that with kids. So you put that together.
You said hippie peace love. That's what you said.
Yes, I'm all for that. Seriously. It sounds cheesy, but for real, everybody knows that. See my colors, I'm bright.
Yeah, I see. For those who are watching on YouTube, you see it, but those on radio, you're missing out. You got to go to our YouTube if you're listening on the radio. And subscribe when you do. Go to our YouTube.
Yes, subscribe.
But listen, so the challenges with what you all were undertaking. Well, first of all, congratulations on getting everything established that you were advocating for the children. And I saw in a video clip and read somewhere that some schools didn't have recess, or recess was just a couple minutes. Talk about that.
Yes, my kids actually experienced that personally. Like I related to that, but certain schools like. That's just a fact. They were having 5-minute recesses or no recess at all. Or certain schools were using that kind of as a form of the punishment, or, your discipline, you're getting a recess taken away. And basically we just disagree with that. Like we understand, children may have some issues or disciplinary things need to happen sometimes, but we feel as though you can find a different route. You do something else maybe, but to take recess, which is like the one time of the day that kids have to release.
Yeah.
Sitting and learning all day and concentrating and focus. You want them to be serious. And when we think about it, even us as adults, nobody wants to just sit all day. You know what I mean? Come on, right? Can you imagine that, right? So
I sit all day. I sit.
But you need a break. You desire breaks, right? You want to get up and release and move and stuff like that. But it's hard for for children, especially a lot of the kids are special needs, and you cannot. And actually, I think that would be like negative effect on the teacher, because then you have kids coming in and not getting recess from lunch or something like that. And all that energy is in there, and then they're maybe acting out and can't contain it in class, and it makes it harder for the teacher. So it's actually, for all parties, it's best for kids to have recess. They need recess. Don't take the
no doubt, and I definitely agree with you wholeheartedly. Agree with you with Lift Every Voice, and if I had a child, I would probably be on your team. Well, if I had a younger child, got 3 children, but if I had a younger child, I would definitely be on your team, because I mean, recess was my jam when I was little.
Okay, right? Everybody, that's like your favorite part of the day.
Yeah, I'll be watching the clock like, yeah, okay, after math come recess.
Okay, you already know what time it is.
I already know. And I come back and I'm ready to take on the rest of the day. So so now, with that being said, though, seriously, do as part of Lift Every Voice, do y'all find that there's a correlative connection between better student behavior in classrooms because they've had that outlet of recess or time to really express themselves?
For sure, yes, absolutely. The 100 emoji, yes, we believe that, because like I said, when you don't, like, okay, we might can manage it better as adults, but children, that energy has to get released. When it's bottled up, they can't keep still, they're fidgety, they might not stop talking, you know what I mean? Or sometimes they might just get edgy and irritated, annoyed, like frustrated, and all of those things are not going to help them learn, focus. It's going to distract the teacher and other students, and is hindering their learning. So they need recess for sure, definitely.
So and so with that, I saw again in the video, Superintendent Watlington, he gave praise for instituting the program, that the recess that you are doing. Is it across all schools now, or how's that coming out? Is it just like slowly being phased in?
Yes, well, the policy goes for all the schools, but as far as them implementing it, yes, I'm not sure the details of like each school personally, but I know for sure they're supposed to be implementing all of these things. And we actually did some more community work right after winning the Joy campaign. We went to different schools and we kind of like gave out flyers and kind of talked to the people and let them know, because one thing is winning it, but now we have to let the people know, hey, we won, and this is what you should expect. If you see this happening, let somebody know, reach out to us, this should or shouldn't happen. So yeah, but basically, they have to implement it in every school and get it rolling. I know it may take time, but they have to figure out the plan.
And you said it started. When did it start?
When did we win it exactly? The 22nd, the 27th of when again? February 27th.
Okay. So just this year.
Yes. It's new, fresh.
Cool. So that's what's up. So what's the pushback been like? Because I know maybe not everyone was in agreement with this. I mean, was it pushback from schools, parents, administrators? What was your pushback like? And what were some of the hurdles that had to be overcome with this?
To be honest, me personally, I don't know too much pushback, like especially from other parents. Everybody, I think, was pretty much on board. They agreed, even like the people in city council and stuff like that. A lot of them had children that were or still are in the district, so they can relate to it. I'm trying to think. Any pushback? No, I'm not sure. But if it is, maybe some principals or maybe some teachers here and there. I'm not sure. But I don't think it's anything big to the point that like it stood out that I probably would know about it. But I think everybody pretty much is in agreement that these things that we focused on in the wellness campaign need to be a thing. So I think pretty much everybody agreed with that. The district did try to say that individual teachers said that the policy was an issue. I do recall that they did say that, but again, I don't think it was majority of the teachers. I'm gonna play advocate. I don't think it was most of them. I think a few here and there, but either way, we probably can persuade them.
No doubt, because it looks like y'all got the momentum going in your favor in all regards. And sometimes, you'll get people who just want to, stay the course. They get to a routine and don't want anything to change. So
used to it.
Yeah, right. Just used to it. But I'm glad to hear that there was no major opposition in this, because this benefits the children and the communities, right? So, So now going forward that we have everything in place. So what's the next phase of the work that the Lift Every Voice is going to do? Is it going to be to kind of expand some of the services during these recess and break times?
Yes, we're going to keep heading in that direction. And we actually have some other things we're cooking up. I'm not going to spill all the tea on that.
We
But
can't
right
get the
now, we
breaking
just
news. We can't get the breaking news. We
no,
can't.
not the breaking news. No. You- Um, well, I mean, basically, was the hearing today at City
Right.
Hall. We're basically just trying to deal with the budget cuts and stuff like that and seeing what's going on. And we need some money for our kids, for our, our babies. They don't need any of their staff members, their teachers or climate. They don't need anybody moving schools, shifting hours cut or taking. We don't need any of that because that's definitely going to affect the students. So we're kind of focusing on that for the next season.
Okay. So cool. So everything's moving in a way that you can wrap it together in a collective environment. So that's cool. So, what were any of the upcoming challenges along the way? I mean, were there any things that happened in terms of a story that you could tell that really let you all know that you were going to win? Were there any like winning points along the way that said, "Hey, we got this"?
With the Joy campaign, trying to think any stories or anything that. You got me there, huh? Let me think. I don't know.
Well, listen, so much.
I know that even though we already won, a big moment for me, I can say, was the press conference. And because there's still work to be done, like you said, it has to be implemented. They have to now start to put that in action. But when we had that moment, and it was just about LEV and the Joy campaign, and I walked in, it was a lot to process. Like my eyes, teared up because I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize it was just for us. Like that's how much I was like, wow. But basically, to see the news and all the different people, city council there, and the different important people in the city come out, and the community cheering us on and saying, we agree, we're happy you won the Joy campaign, for me was a big moment to let us know this is going to happen. But obviously it has to because won. But you get what I mean? Like it was like, okay, everybody's pushing, everybody agrees, everybody wants to see this happen, and they support us. So anybody watching or listening, if you want to join Lift Every Voice, holler at us. We're a great group. We wear shirts.
That's some good stuff. So that must have been, like you said, a real fulfilling moment there to just walk in and to see all the parents and community residents and key stakeholders there just in support. I mean, because I can only imagine, like Carrera, when you were doing the work, you were in it. You were really immersed in it. Hoping and believing that things would change. And as you talk to people, you kind of feel that it was. But that one moment of seeing it come together, that was the wow moment, right? It was,
It's very wild. Like I said, it was really surreal. Like I had to really process it. I'm a big crybaby. Like I said, I had to call my mom. I had to go to the side. I'm like, Mom, the balloons, everything is just for us. Everybody's here. And every person that got up and spoke, it just was, I was a big crybaby. I'm glad they put me in the back because listen, I'm being honest. Listen, let me tell you, like the video that you played in the beginning, we have different videos like that, right? And I'm used to like watching things like that on the internet or the news. And I may even get emotional, but it's a little out of touch. But to be a part of that, like watching that video, I cry a lot too, because I'm like, wow, I know that person personally. I know what they went through. I was there with them in the meetings, the constant meetings we did, the negotiation, the hard work, the brainstorming, the research. You know what I mean? The trying to figure out what we're going to do, all that jotting down on paper, everything that we did. And to see that person up there speaking or to see the cameras on them or people cheering for them, it was just like, oh my goodness. Look, you're trying to get me now. No, let me stop now. I'm going to bust out, okay? I'm glad some people can't see. No, I'm not going to cry now, but seriously, it gets like that because, like I said, I was one of the first people. Like,
right, and that's the passion behind it. Because when you're one of the first people, and you're one of the ones who plant that seed, and then watch what it blossom into. I mean, my God, yeah, that emotion does come to you, and it's all genuine. So truly kudos to you in that regard. And this is just the beginning though, right? This is just the start,
Yes. LEV is going to continue. We've been doing our thing since 2022. We had the nurse campaign that we won. That's the reason that if your kid's school has a nurse, like guaranteed, it's probably because of us. Humbly, I might say we had to fight for that. Now we have the Joy campaign. We're trying to deal with the budgets, trying to make sure that, certain people aren't getting cut. Example, like me, I'm a climate at Henry C. Lee Elementary School. A lot of kids will go crazy if Miss C isn't there or if Miss C hours are cut. You know what I mean? And we're going to continue. Like I said, we have a lot of things bullets, this issue, and as long as we exist, LEV is going to keep doing the work.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And real quick, there are special needs children. I know you mentioned it earlier in the conversation. Some of those children really need that outlet time, whether it's recess or any other type of way that they can regulate themselves. Is that part of your work too, to make sure the special needs children have their time, or was it just all combined for all children as a whole?
It was combined for all children, but we definitely did put a highlight as far as we always emphasize that we have a lot of special needs children in the schools, because that's just the reality. Like, it's not like there's just a specific school that they're at. They're everywhere. So like I said, it wasn't everybody thing, but we did definitely highlight the special need kids. Like, we emphasized that, hey, for sure they need to get these things.
Mm-hmm. Now, did y'all have a big celebration when y'all won? Because I know this is like a big moment for y'all, right?
Yes, we actually did. We had a big celebration. We went to Lucky Strikes downtown. We had a bunch of lanes. I was like, Dad, we don't want to take over. Nobody else gonna be able to bowl because there's so many of us. But we really celebrated. We had a nice cake. They actually gave me the honor of like speaking before we cut the cake. I didn't cry, or did I? I'm trying to think.
Because you gotta remember you. Yeah, probably did. I don't know, maybe.
But it was very joyful. Like, we just got to celebrate and have fun. We didn't do any work. Sometimes we have events, we might mix a little work, and this was just strictly celebrating. We did it. Gotcha. There's a lot of joy in that room for the Joy campaign.
I could imagine. Now, is there one school that's like your flagship school, or because sometimes like your headquarters, so to speak, is there one school that you kind of all convene at, or are you just really equally at most of the schools you service?
Well, we actually, LEV kind of has a thing we kind of call chapters. Okay. So we're kind of spread out as much as we can, but we started off with like Bryant. We have Barry on board. We have a lot of West Philly and like Southwest, I think, kind of schools. And then we're kind of just now recently branching to North Philadelphia schools. Yeah. What was the school? Thomas, what is it? Thomas, or I forgot. Don't get me, I don't want to be wrong. But basically, yeah, we basically started in West Philly, and we are just expanding to like North Philly right now, and we plan to keep expanding. So basically, we like go to different schools, get rapports, relationship with people, communicate with the parents, get people on board, join it, and then that's how we do it. Then we go to the next school like that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, been a couple of years or so, you can cover the whole city then, huh?
Yes. Well, right now we have 17 schools on board. That's a lot. I didn't even realize that many schools. Wow, we have 17. So that's a lot to start with one.
There you
go. So yes, we plan on keep going.
Cool. And talking about keep going, as we begin to wrap up now, because we're coming to the end of the segment here, tell everyone how they can get involved with Lift Every Voice, where they can find you at, website, email, carrier pigeon, whatever way they can get in contact with you.
Yes. Okay, it's our website. It's lifteveryvoicephilly.org, not .com, .org. So you can contact us there, and yeah, that's it for the most part. Okay. Soon we'll probably get some phones going soon. We'll be working on that. Like I said, getting better, bigger and better. But for now, you can go online and contact us there. Or if you see any members out in the community, if you see us anywhere, if you see the shirts and stuff, don't be shy. Like, feel free to walk up, communicate with us, or get anybody's number or reach out like that as well. Like, that's no problem for us as well.
Okay, well, we'll definitely have the information about the website in our show notes so that they can definitely reach out to you. That's lifteveryvoicephilly.org, you said? Yep.
Yes, and actually we do have an Instagram. It's at LEV Philly. Oh, what is this? Instagram? At LEV Philly.
At LEV Philly. Okay, yes. So we'll have that dropped in the show notes as well. So listen, Carrera, we thank you again for being on the show, talking about Lift Every Voice and all the great work that you're doing to bring joy back into the lives of our youth, into every school. I'm going to say every school because I'm claiming it for you, as we begin to help and make a difference in our life of our youth. So we appreciate you. And we look forward to having either you or one of the representatives from Lift Every Voice back on the show in the near future to talk about some of the other campaign victories that you're going to be having. So really appreciate you, and thank you for being on Community Voice PHL Talk Show.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Thank you for, letting us shine. Lift Every Voice Philly, everybody. Peace and love.
You're welcome. So that's all the time we have. And remember, this is Jeff Jones for Community Voice. And if it's happening in your community, we need to hear your voice. Peace, and we are out.
All right, Jeff.